And there's the head gasket. In order to get there, I disconnected the transmission from it and torque converter. I take off the intake manifold and also the power steering pump. Power steering pump was pretty tricky. You have to drop the engine a little bit from up here where this motor mount is at. Before you take the motor mount off the top of the engine, you have to drop it down slowly, put a jack under there, and get it low enough so that you can pull that screw out, because this is the one that's real tricky. And then it'll come off. It ain't that easy. Power steering is always going to be tricky on this car. AC compressor, I just took it off, hung it to the side, didn't disconnect any other lines. Intake manifold is just sitting in the back. The alternator, I did not disconnect the wiring on the alternator because sometimes it could get damaged. So the alternator is still with the wiring harness. I did not take off the starter. I didn't need to. It wasn't that easy. When I got the engine up a little bit, in order to get this off, I had to lift the engine a little, hold it up, drop the engine down a little, and then pull the engine out towards me just a bit, so that I was able to take this motor mount off. It's going to be real hard to put it back on. That's the most trickiest part there. And then the other part is not messing up this thing here while the engine is coming out, because the water pump will hit. But my suggestion is that you take these 4 bolts off before taking the engine out, so that you can have a little bit more room. It just makes things much easier. The harmonic balancer has to come off. It was pretty easy for me. What I do is I get an impact wrench. I put a 19 socket. If you don't have an impact wrench and you have a different something else that you're using, you can always try to jam something where the starter goes, like a screwdriver right there, and hold it in place, and then go at it right here. Other people do it by starting the car, but I mean, that's very dangerous. I'm not going to show you guys that. But pretty much these head gaskets, that's the way they go out. Might be leaking coolant, but it's from the gasket itself.